And now, the Riverdale Carnival presents the Archies.
Take care of the kissing booth while we're singing, Sabrina.
Okay, everybody, here we go with our new hit record, Sugar, Sugar!
Sugar, oh honey, honey, you are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you, honey, oh sugar, sugar, you are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you.
The big conversation today, a question that's being asked in the diet community. Is fruit making you fat? Fruit used to be the holy grail of diet foods, but now some say the sugar may be doing more harm than good and is causing controversy among many health experts. Whether it's by pyramid or plate, traditional dietary guidelines have long served up multiple servings of fruit as one of the key ways to stay healthy and fit. Packed with water, vitamins, and fiber, some fruits have even grabbed headlines for cutting the risk of heart disease by 40%. But now, some are red flagging its high sugar content, singling out fruit as a possible offender in America's ongoing battle of the bulge. That's because some of our most popular fruits can be alarmingly high in fructose, a simple sugar, and carbohydrates, two called.
I tell you, I love watermelon. Thank you for tuning in to this Real Talk Zone podcast. And we are talking about sugar today. Sugar. America's real dope, as I would say it. Watermelon, man. Ain't nothing like eating some watermelon on a hot summer day. And now that I have diabetes, I cannot eat as much watermelon as I want. Like, maybe one good big slice would be good enough for me, because if I eat more, then I start feeling dizzy, or just the sugars in there. A lot of growers and farmers are probably using more chemicals and nutrients to add more sugars in the growing process to get that sweeter taste in watermelons and strawberries and plums and all that. So, just the other day I was eating a couple plums, and all of a sudden I checked my blood sugar and it was at 323. So I was like, wow. And fruits do have sugars in them. Those are like natural sugars that we're supposed to eat, just growing regularly. And even noodles and carbohydrates turn into sugars. So grain, rice, and that is, all sugary foods too. And it's bad for our diets or health. It's like, then they put added sugars in food. So if you ever see something and it says it has this and that many grams of sugar and it says added sugar, I wouldn't even eat it, because, there's more added sugar on there. That's more your body and your pancreas has to pump insulin to your body. Now, for some reason, my pancreas does not make insulin, so I need to take the insulin and the needle and insert it in my skin, and then I have to take it that way in order 3 times a day before I eat my meals, and I got my nighttime insulin. Sugar, as we all know, is well addicted. It's just addicting. I mean, sugar binges, people just, it's sugar. And these companies and our government knows what it's doing to us. Yeah, there's no warning signs on candy bars and sugary food. Even noodles, they should put a sign on there saying, warning, this turns into sugar and this can lead to diabetes, or warning, this sugar, too much sugar can, later on in life, if your genes are not acceptable to it, can cause diabetes. And there's people that got diabetes that didn't have it in their family, and they just replica got it. My grandpa was the only one so far that I know has had diabetes. And so I guess, a lot of people make excuses or say you can get it from DNA. Yeah, I understand that. But I think it's just from all this food we're eating. I mean, I exercise a lot. I was healthy before I got diabetes, so there's no reason. I was too young for it. There's no way. And I never ate sugar like that, even though I did eat my share of cheesecakes and Skittles, root beer. But I didn't just eat it all day like a lot of other people. Just, I was always too worried about my teeth getting cavities and all that from it. So I just got it, though, and it's just sugar. It's just like I changed my whole diet. nowadays I eat different foods and I can taste it. The weird taste, it's like a spoiled milk taste in your stomach when you eat too much sugar, or when I eat something like 1 cup of Kool-Aid from people that make it sugary, that would just make me feel dizzy. I'd have to take my medicine. It wouldn't be worth it. It's like, so we need to figure out this whole sugar thing. It's really unhealthy. And I mean, it's still tasteful though, but it's kind of like that time where you would have the plain cereal with no sugar and you want to add sugar, or you would have different foods. The regular way they make Kool-Aid, it wasn't sweet enough for you. Now we're all addicted and hooked on this sweet stuff. Most of us are, so we want that in our food, and that's what we look for. It's like my kids, they cannot get away from that, and I keep telling that. They even go out with me in the stores, and we've been pointing out the sugar. And so, can you believe this? A liter of soda, say a liter of cola would have 24 grams of sugar. A name brand or a Coca-Cola one would probably have 32 or something. And guess how much is in the smaller 24-ounce bottles? You probably guessed it. Same amount, 34 and up, 48, 54 grams of sugar. I've even seen this one drink that this Fanta drink or something. I was like, no, you guys aren't going to drink that. Stop drinking that. It had, I think I read 84 grams of sugar in there or something. I was like, what's the point? Where's the liquid come from? Where's the liquid coming from? Is it just all sugar? I mean, that's like, it should be warning. They need to stop doing that, and we'll look out for our health more. But, a lot of people get away. It's all about money and greed. But it's our health, and we got to stop. We got to start shopping differently and just get used to that plain flavor stuff, I can't really drink too much milk. I drink almond milk, but I can't drink a lot of the regular milk because it messes up my stomach, cheese products and all that. Having diabetes has changed my whole eating habits. But you know what? If I didn't have it and I started researching on this and I talked to someone with diabetes, I think I would change a lot of my eating habits anyways, because I mean, health is the number one. If I speak for Californians, I mean, we are unhealthy. There's different states too that are, but they say Californians are real unhealthy out here, and we need to change that. So here's 5 steps to kill sugar, or sugar wants and needs and all that.
Sugar tastes delicious, makes you instantly feel good, and desserts like cake, cookies, and ice cream just wouldn't be the same without it. But eating too much sugar can lead to some serious problems, ranging from weight gain to fatty liver disease and diabetes. And even though eating just one Oreo won't necessarily make you gain weight, and it definitely won't turn you into a diabetic, almost nobody eats just one Oreo. In fact, according to the US Department of Health, the average American has about 17 teaspoons of sugar per day. Other sources estimate that Americans are having close to 25 teaspoons of sugar per day, which is much higher than any other country in the world, and it's double the amount of sugar that's recommended by the World Health Organization. The biggest problem with sugar is that it's an empty calorie that won't fill you up, but it'll instead leave you craving for more. Studies show that consuming too much sugar can lead to leptin resistance, and leptin is the hormone that's secreted and released by your fat cells to let you know when you're full.
Do you have a sweet tooth?
While we all enjoy sweet treats once in a while, it's important to limit the amount of added sugars in our diets. Most of the sugars we eat should come from sugars naturally found in nutritious foods such as whole fruits. Avoid or limit added sugars found in processed foods such as sugar-sweetened drinks and candy. Added sugars are empty calories, which means they have no nutritional value other than the calories. Taking in too many calories can cause you to store extra body fat, and having too much body fat increases the risk of chronic diseases such as type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and some cancers. So what can you do to limit the amount of added sugars in your diet?
Well, you're going to have to figure out something, and you're going to have to do what it do, because that is a trifecta out here. And you see how she said the added sugars. Everything now is like more sugary, it seems like. What are you guys trying to do? Just give us all diabetes so you can milk our insurance companies? And that's a scam too. But I mean, I noticed in 7-Elevens since the last 2 years, they've been adding all kinds of extra toppings on their donuts, which is already sugary. I can't even eat one of their donuts. I mean, they got all kinds of added icing tops. I mean, it looks nice and maybe for desserts, but that's just too much sugar going on there. And we need to all be aware of that. Even the the Nuivia sugar, sweet and low. They're saying that those are all have some type of sugar in them or are still bad for your body, even diet soda. There was no big difference in Coke Zero and regular Coke. There was some that said it didn't have sugar in it before, and I tried it, and I tested my blood sugar after, and it went up a little bit. It went up like 32 points or 32 numbers. I don't remember the exact reading, but I just remembered I was like, wow, they lied on there. Even caffeine can hurt me. It works my nerves. My feet are in pain every day. The caffeine, I gotta stay away from that. And you should too. And try to beat this diabetes, and by eating healthy and having our kids eat healthy. Remember, what you put on the table, your kids eat, unless they're throwing it in the trash or unless you just feed your kid whatever they want. But I mean, you have to make the change yourself when you're shopping. Like I tell my kids, they already know when we go shopping, you can pick out some goodies, but that's about it. I'm picking out the rest of the stuff. And other people, say they're bringing all kinds of sugary foods or unhealthy foods to your home. Hey, if they don't like it, so what? They'll get used to it and maybe have the sugary foods or candy or whatever as a dessert or as a treat or something, here and there. But get them hooked on healthy food, and healthy food can taste good. And there's always all kinds of different flavors and stuff you can add. So I mean, there's a lot of different recipes that people are making up. Let's hear this clip to see how you can break your sugar habits.
Do you know what makes you sick and overweight? It's not fat. The answer is sugar. And the average American consumes about 152 pounds of sugar a year. That's roughly 22 teaspoons every single day. And our kids, they consume even more, 34 teaspoons every day, making nearly 1 in 4 teenagers pre-diabetic or type 2 diabetic. This is the reason that 70% of Americans and 40% of kids are overweight. And new science proves that sugar is biologically addictive. In fact, it's 8 times as addictive as cocaine. Now, this addiction is not an emotional eating disorder. Sugar and flour, which actually raises your blood sugar more than table sugar, hijacks your taste buds, your brain chemistry, and your hormones and your metabolism. So the question is, how do you break the addiction and take back your health? You see, the more sugar you eat, the more you crave. But here's the good news. It takes only 10 days to detox from sugar. The key is to consume powerful addiction-reversing foods that rewire and reset your brain and your body. It's like a total body reboot. And here's how you start. First, make a decision to break the sugar habit. Next, quit cold turkey by stopping all forms of sugar and flour and artificial sweeteners, which actually also cause diabetes and obesity, hydrogenated fats, and MSG, which makes you crave more, as well as all processed and prepackaged foods.
Well, you heard the man. And you know what? That's true. I researched and I read about that when you eat, it does take 7 to 10 days for your body to cleanse the sugars and all that. But it also makes you more immune to diseases and airborne diseases and sickness. So if someone was sick by you and your body's working on fighting off the sugar and make sure that balances your body out, send it to the right organs, you're also open to infections. And if someone coughs around you, you have a better chance of getting sick because your body's concentrating on something else. So that's kind of scary too, to figure that out. I just wish... why has this world got to be like this? That's why I started doing these podcasts, just to inform people and let people know how to survive nowadays, because it is getting hectic. Almost anything and everything causes cancer. Almost anything and everything causes diabetes. It's like, what are we supposed to do? And I wonder our bodies are made for this world, so I'm just trying to figure out how is this, a lot of these natural foods affecting us if it's not modified, and I think it's being modified with more sugar. So thanks for tapping in. Our next podcast is going to be on the filth and the dirt and the nastiness of fast food and regular restaurants and the places that you eat at. Because like I said, I heard there's a chicken sandwich epidemic going around. I don't care who makes the sandwich or where it's from or how much it costs. I want to go for wherever was the cleanest, whoever had the cleanest hands, the cleanest area making my sandwich. Damn it.